All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Hibike Euphonium, Season 2, Episode 13. Okay,
we got our season finale,
Yep.
and let's get into it. We've got the performance.
Nationals, yeah,
well,
and
it's
over.
Lost.
Right.
Yeah.
They got bronze, but they made it to nationals, and that's the important thing.
Well, that is the thing that they set out to do when
did
Taki basically addressed everyone and said that this is
These are the options, yeah.
what we have to do, but it's only going to happen if we all basically put everything into it, and they did. And yeah, now they're going to say goodbye to the third years. We had Kumiko's sister show up.
That was wonderful.
Really sweet.
Awesome. We had a confession. Multiple, actually, from Reina to Taki. And, well, yeah.
He handled it professionally.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. He handled it very well. Yeah. I'm sure we'll probably see some dead Reina eyes in this episode. But, yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think, if anything, just the fact that she was able to do it, it's not going to be dead Reina eyes, though. I think, if anything, she's going to be just, like, okay, yeah. But
keep trying, yeah.
At the very least, this was something that was important that she did it, and what comes next is patience. Lots of patience. Or acceptance. Who knows?
And maybe both.
Well, yeah. You have to have some acceptance in order to have patience, but I'm talking about the acceptance that he's never going to be into you.
Yep.
Like that's where the patience is mixed with that little bit of denial that there's a possibility. Just saying there's
holding
a chance.
Out. Yeah.
Right. But now we can maybe catch up to that scene that we had in the beginning of season 2.
Sure. Yeah.
Which will be them kind of looking at each other and just realizing, okay,
all right.
So next year, right? Right.
And then also, setting the stage for what next year will look like,
Right.
Because we'll probably get a whole new set of characters with first years and things like that and stuff. But then, we also have to officially say goodbye to the third years.
Yeah. Asuka really had a fantastic and dramatic end to her little kind of arc of sorts by having her father actually get to hear her play. And that was really special. But what comes next? So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into it. So, now that we are probably going to have this one for the last time, we might get it in maybe like one of the movies, but I can honestly say that I really love this OP to the point that I had it stuck in my head for about like 5 days in a row last week. Yeah.
Huh.
It's just constantly playing in my head. I was like, why?
It's a great
It's
OP.
really good, but like there's so many other OPs that I've seen where I'm like, it's like goated 10 out of 10 OP. But for some reason, this one, and I think it's because it's like a performance. I don't know how to describe it, but
I'm very curious what they're going to do for the movies, because I've seen instances where movies after a double season show will like go back to the first OP, but sometimes they stick with the most recent OP.
Oh, okay.
Or sometimes they don't have an OP at all.
What show did that?
Disappearance.
Oh.
Yeah. Different visuals, but
I guess he did
song.
have 2 seasons. Kinda.
Yeah, that might have been
kind
why
of
they
had
did it.
1.3 seasons,
Okay, so what do we got? Oh, okay, she's the president. All right. So then is Nakagawa going to be vice president?
Nakagawa's going to be vice president. Yeah, come on. Hey! Yeah! So we had it flipped.
Yeah, we had it flipped. Okay.
There you go, yeah.
All right. Wait, really?
Right, yeah. Yep. Of course she did. Support this one.
I love it.
Oh. What was that face? What was that face?
Oh my god, I love it.
Oh.
1年かけて積み上げてきてもまたすぐ戻ってしまう
Yeah.
だからいいと私は思ってますが。毎年毎年最初から始められる。それは
Okay.
素晴らしいことだと思いますよ。
Pachinko.
またサックスク。また始めたんだ。コンクールの間は我慢していましたから。
Oh,
Ah,
my self-control is gone now.
right.
寂しい。
Yeah.
久美子ちゃん。
え？お、
お
周一。
Oh.
ね、言ったら。
あ、
なんで？
Yeah.
Well, you know.
何かあった？久美子、塚本から何かもらったんじゃないんですか？
She had to like think about it.
Yeah.
言いふらしてないよね。
何を？
ヘアピンくれたでしょ。大会の前の日にそのこと。
は？言うわけないじゃん。来年はそこそこ増えるだろうな。
ちゃんと指導できるかな。
青春。
Wow. Wow.
非教材は厳罰だよ。
Oh.
周一くんは小さい頃からそういう気配あったかな。久美子ちゃんはわからないけど。ないよ。
いいじゃん、そんな否定しなくて。お前ちゃんのこと。
何ですかそれ。
That if
She's
you get
being
heartbroken,
serious.
you can still,
じゃあ行くね。
you know.
何？まだ引退して1ヶ月も経ってないよ。じゃあね。
Because if the club wasn't hanging out, then
Yeah.
how often did you hang out, outside it?
Yeah. Oh.
姉ちゃん。
Okay. Is she playing Asuka's piece?
Yeah. Oh, it's okay. Hi. Yeah. Because it might not even be that she's playing her piece. It's just that she's playing with the same emotion.
Sure.
Then they just heard that and it sounded like her. Oh, this musical change.
ますます
Visuals. I know. I know.
それでは卒業生の入場です。
Aha!
Nice.
Hello. Of course. Why are we surprised at all? Oh.
One last performance.
Nice. And then now they sound great, you know?
Yeah. Now, is this just the third years performing?
No. Or,
I mean, I feel like it could be because there was like 60 people in the wind ensemble, and so it's like
then
about
yeah,
20
it
of
is.
them.
Yeah, there's no one here I recognize. So this like outside of the couple third years we actually got focus on. So
Right.
this is probably all the third years. Yeah. Yeah.
that was
wow.
great.
Okay.
先輩たちと過ごした時間はそのすべてが私たちにとってかけがえのないものです。そして全国金を必ず。うるさい。では私たちの決意を込めて。
Oh, now
Oh,
they
nice.
perform for
They
them.
play for each other. This is
Cool.
great.
Nice. And she's conducting because she's not playing an instrument.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Nice. Nakagawa playing. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Hazuki.
We're gonna be okay.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice. Look at all the
okay.
back.
Okay.
Season 1 shit
Yep.
there.
Uh-huh.
That's cool. And having it be all Kaori focused there is really cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, the little
All right.
locked eyes and just the emotion coming up.
This is a great send-off.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot about that part.
Yeah. They've been through so much.
It's kind of sad though, because it almost feels like this is them saying, and we will no longer do, any more Hibike Euphonium, like, as a show after this.
Don't say things like that.
I know we have the movies, so we don't have to worry about there being nothing more, but...
Just third season.
I know. Oh. And of course you get emotional.
Yeah.
She already picked up her instrument, yeah. Which means she's slow, so if you chase after her. Oh.
But it also means she's not gonna stop playing.
So here's the scene.
All right.
The beginning.
Right, yeah. Okay. Because of course she's the one representing the class.
当時日差しの中に春の暖かさと光を感じるようになった先輩お元気で
Oh!
君たちもな
Wait. Did she not hang around because she knew that if she did, she'd cry and she doesn't want people to see that?
Maybe. Oh. Kumiko. Looking everywhere.
Yep.
北宇治高校へようこそ
Oh.
輝かしい皆さん
Wow.
の入学を祝してこういうの
Mm-hmm.
卒業おめでとうございますだから苦手だって言ってるでしょ私のこと探してたの
Is this a love confession?
何
Yeah, yeah.
恋の相談そうです先輩のこと苦手でしたもしかしたら嫌いだったかもしれません
But now I love you like a sister. Like, it's like...
それが言いたかったことだって今は大好きですからアスカ先輩絶対本心見せてくれなくてもう今は
This
寂
track.
しいです先輩が吹く UFO もっと聞いていたいです私アスカ先輩みたいな UFO が吹きたいそれが言いたかったことこれお父さんの今度は大前ちゃんが後輩に聞かせてあげてよさよならって言いたくないですじゃあ言わないまたね
Yep. Yep.
So then Reina comes out here.
Yeah, and now we're back at the beginning of
Yeah,
season
we're back
2.
at the beginning. Yeah.
Okay.
そのタイトルを私はその時初めて知った
Wait. No!
Oh.
No!
Oh.
Okay.
響け
And her feet start to leave the ground. Yeah.
その音の温かさを私はいつまでも忘れない
God damn it, show. That's playing dirty. Don't.
Wait, what's this? Whoa.
Don't give an ending like this.
Oh. Wow. That's really good.
Wow.
Here we go. That is a finale.
That is a finale.
And if you ended the series right there,
that would be
perfect.
That would be perfect.
You wouldn't need really any more because it's about basically then taking that sound and letting it ring.
Right. Like
it's not about who gets to hear it or how it's graded.
Yep.
Or
whether they get
how
Golden
well
Nationals again or
yeah. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Like the story continues, but we don't necessarily need to see it because this story is done. You know, like the story of Kumiko coming into her own and everything like that has happened.
And being comfortable to let her sound ring.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like
Yeah.
it's something where the knowledge that there were movies after this kind of lulled me into a false sense of security, even though the foreshadowing for this kind of an ending was
already given.
Was very much like they were upfront with it,
very
right?
upfront. Yeah.
With Kumiko's whole story in general, the whole situation with her home life, and that being kind of her final big confrontation and conflict for her to figure out. And even Asuka straight up saying, "You're a lot like a youth," right?
Right.
So that the point that when she ends up passing on her dad's, sheet music to Kumiko, it totally makes sense.
It does.
And when we find out that the title of the piece is Hibike Euphonium, it totally makes sense, right? And then the freaking ED comes in, and we just see, a youth all by itself
with a notebook.
And we know that that's Kumiko's. There you go, right?
Yeah.
This youth will indeed ring out. It's magical. Like this kind of an ending, oh my god, I so vastly prefer to any kind of like they won at nationals or or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
The fact that we get a whole episode just to say goodbye to the third years.
Yeah.
And because it's not just you're the third years and whatnot. And okay, but like no. These people really meant so much.
Yeah, so much.
So much to the other students.
Yeah, to specific people, too.
Right.
There's a lot of passion and love and strength in the relationships between specific ones to specific third years as well. And that's why when they ask Kumiko, you missing the third years? And she's like, well, not exactly, kind of, but not really. It's not that it's the third year specifically, it's even more specific. It's Asuka. It's the idea that she won't be able to listen to Asuka's euphonium anymore.
Yep.
And of course she can find a way to hang out with her or something like that. Totally. Yeah. But it's the idea that she won't be going after some great goal with Asuka nearby for, the next at least 2 years.
Yeah, it's the thing where it's like, if you're spending that much time with somebody and there's a reason for you to spend that much time with them, right? And then suddenly that reason's not there anymore.
Right.
It can feel like, they've gone into a whole separate world, even though for a lot of the time, they were still going to the same school, right? Like Asuka hadn't actually graduated yet, so, and she's like, what? It's barely been a month or whatever since I stopped coming to club, right? Because, well, we didn't hang out that much outside of club, right?
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be that much of a transition, but no, it really is.
Yeah.
And
I love it. I love it so much because Asuka as a character is one that like kept getting more and more deep as time went on, and a lot of the things that were more her kind of her tick, her shtick, became a thing that was a window into who she was as a person,
right?
And because of Kumiko's time spent with her beyond just what everyone else kind of generally did, we actually got the way to translate some of that. Yeah. And thus Kumiko got to know her better than most anyone actually in the wind ensemble. And that's a weird kind of thing to bring up that maybe in a lot of ways, a lot of the other characters didn't really know Asuka that much at all. Like, a lot of the characters probably did just because they spent time with her in the previous years and such.
Right, yeah. Like the other third years, for sure.
Yeah, but not necessarily all of them.
Well,
and not even necessarily that many of them at all.
And it's especially different when you think about the fact that the youth is such a big deal to Asuka, right? It's such a big part of her life. And Kumiko was the one person other than Nakagawa that would play it, right? So the idea of studying like crazy and going to nationals and playing literally side by side, right? All through this crazy struggle and stuff.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, they're not around anymore.
They're gone.
And while Kumiko, Kumiko talked about the idea of being lonely, right?
Okay.
At least I think she did. I don't know if maybe that was necessarily specifically mentioned, but
Yeah, she said that. She said
yeah. And with the idea of first years coming in, that could be a very kind of cold experience potentially of all of a sudden there's no one sort of for me to look up to. Now, in this situation, not quite, because there's also Nakagawa, who will now be a third year, so there's that, even though Kumiko is a better youth player than her, so she'll be the one still kind of being the leader in a lot of respects, but she'll be able to sort of share that load.
Okay.
But I can imagine that would be incredibly painful to go from 1 year, you're the learner, right? Even though Kumiko had played the youth before, this is a new environment, new experience for her to actually be really trying and to fall in love with this instrument and everything. And this one person was played such a, pun intended, instrumental role in that, right?
Yeah.
And then they're gone, and now you need to be that for someone. And you know that you can't possibly be Asuka, right?
No.
You know, like that's not how it works,
definitely
right?
not.
But that's I don't know. Burden of responsibility, I guess. Like there's, I don't know. But yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know. It hit me hard.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. Like, this is a finale that doesn't really like hit me as hard, I would say. This is a finale where Asuka as a character is one I'm fascinated by, and I wish we got more time with her in the same way that Kumiko wishes she gets more time with her.
sure.
And yet I see this as more of a Kumiko's episode, really. Like,
Yes,
this is
absolutely.
This is Kumiko's kind of moment to be willing to go and share
Contemplate
her feelings directly.
Yeah.
Because she did it already with her sister. And
Sure.
there was a very clear parallel drawn between Asuka and, Omai.
Yeah.
So that, or
Mamiko.
Mamiko, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, Omai is their last name. Where she basically was then able to say to Asuka, no, I've grown to love you now.
Right.
And that's something I'm actually capable of saying now because in a lot of ways I learned so much from you,
Right.
the person who keeps all their feelings bottled up inside. And at those times where you do actually show your feelings on some level there, I'm now comfortable to do the same myself.
Yeah.
It's basically a the student will surpass the teacher kind of thing.
Right.
And Asuka yet is someone that is so like unknowably like unique to Kumiko that it's just like the loss of you in my life is just like a bright star that will never be replaced, and that's so painful.
Yep.
That I don't know what I'll do.
And the parallel with her sister, I think, is I'm glad you brought that up, because in the same way that Kumiko is able to keep in touch with her sister through, like, writing letters and things like that, that is incredibly special because it's time and effort that's being put into keeping their relationship strong, right? Even across distance.
Yeah.
But there's with Kumiko's sister, it's the sort of the tragedy of, oh, if only they had been able to reconcile sooner, so that they could have had those times to really grow that relationship while it was easy, while it was convenient, right?
Yeah.
And Kumiko kind of got that with Asuka, right? And then of course now it's time for Asuka to go her own way, right? And I hate the idea of I don't want to say goodbye. Well, then don't. See you later. See ya.
Yeah.
Who knows when that'll be, but see ya.
Yeah. I've had multiple experiences in my life where I've had to say goodbye to someone because of a move or just a change in locations for them, change of job, or what have you. And almost always there's this revelation of sorts of how much you wish you could have done things slightly better in order to take advantage of the convenience of them being so readily present and available. And, the internet and phones are a thing, but even so, even so, just because you might be able to hear Asuka play the youth again, just because you might be able to interact and talk with Asuka again about all this stuff, doesn't mean that the presence of having her nearby on a constant thing there is going to be replaced ever.
Right.
Like, that's something that is effectively irreplaceable.
There was something that, like, when in my teenage years, where I would work this summer job every year, right?
Yeah.
And it was great. Made lots of friends over there. But there was this thing where there was this knowledge that, all right, I'll have about 4 months to hang out with these people.
Right.
And then I got to go home,
Yep.
right? And that's that, right? And it would be wonderful on the times when it's like, all right, start of the summer, and you see a bunch of people that you haven't seen in 9 months, and you're like, all right, yeah, big hugs all around, and it's like you never left, right?
Yep.
But you know that there's going to come a point where it ends, right?
Yep.
And that's I feel like one of the beautiful things that was captured here in this episode, and can be captured in general with the sort of the anime stories in the third years, moving on and stuff like that, because it's not a surprise event that is going to take them away. It's exactly what it is, right? It's just
defined, yeah.
Right. It's clearly defined. Both eyes open.
Yeah.
You can see it coming, and yet you still maybe wish that you had spent the time differently, that you had cherished having them around more, right? You still can take people for granted, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, the fact that in the little ED bit we see the youth by itself alone, right? Like,
And it's clearly Kumiko's.
and it's clearly Kumiko's, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that perfectly encapsulates the feeling of loneliness, but at the same time not being alone, because the notebook's still there, right? It's not, Asuka isn't gone as if she was never there, as if she never existed or whatever,
Right, of
right?
course.
And I'm sure Kumiko will think of her every time she plays that piece, and I'm sure that a bunch of the first years will come in and they'll be like, wow, that piece is beautiful, and it might even get them to want to play the youth,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And, and they'll be like, what piece is it? Well, I
Right.
got it from my senpai,
Yeah.
It was composed by her dad,
But hey, we got some cool little twists with things there. Yuko is the president,
Yes,
not
and-
Nakagawa.
But Nakagawa is the vice president.
Is the vice president.
Because it's
That's so perfect.
Yep.
That's so perfect. Because in some ways, Yuko is now free to be
Sure.
the best herself that she is. In a
Uh-huh.
lot of ways, because Kaori's gone.
in a lot of ways, the fact that Asuka decided for that to be the case, that Yuko would be the president,
Right.
it almost feels like an adjustment of what her situation was. Because Asuka was the one that would naturally be considered to be the president, right? But she didn't have the guts to actually put her name forward when all the drama was happening, right?
Right.
And then as a result of that, the actual president, I forget her name, ended up stepping up and taking the role. And Asuka took the role of vice president, and as a result of that, she kind of considered herself that she just must not have been... She clearly must not have been as worthy of being the president as the actual president, because she didn't step up to the job, right?
Yeah. Ogasawara.
Ogasawara, yeah.
Yeah.
But this time, it's like, okay, yeah, if we were to take Nakagawa and Yuko and be like, which of the two, like if we were to compare the two and match them up to Asuka and Ogasawara, Yuko's obviously the Asuka, right?
Yeah.
And then Nakagawa's the Ogasawara. So,
Right.
and then it's, no. Yuko's the president now. She doesn't necessarily need anyone that can hard rein her in.
No, because she's in some ways gone through her big change as well. So
Yeah.
she doesn't need to be, she doesn't need to go through any crazy amount of growing up anymore.
Right. She's ready.
She's ready.
Yeah,
and she had to bury her face in Kaori's boobs, of course, because
Yeah.
of course,
Right.
you're just losing the love of her life. Like,
Right.
My God.
And naturally, she will be, upset a little bit about Nakagawa's, that pout face that Yuko gave was so great. It was such
there were so many good faces.
just a blob of an image. It was amazing.
I love that this studio has multiple moments where it will just go full goofy.
Oh, yeah.
At times with the character models and drawings and stuff. It's
Like,
so funny.
We can go from the headlights of a car
Right.
reflecting in someone's eyes as it drives by, to derpy
with all the
Blobface.
shadows and everything,
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the hair and stuff. It's
Right,
just
or
ridiculous.
or the part where
Yeah.
Asuka like sort of like grabbed and mussed up like Kumiko's hair.
Oh my
you know?
gosh.
It's like
It's freaking incredible.
to say nothing of
Ah.
all the times that it showed like the landscapes and stuff with the fresh snow and the
Yeah.
reflections off of the
Yeah,
like the
exactly.
pond, and
This show is a visual,
gorgeous.
but just getting to have this be a very much an epilogue type finale,
Yeah.
where we have most of it being the washing up of all these feelings and emotions and just this warmth of knowing that this will continue on.
Yep.
But we have to celebrate and say goodbye in the same
Yeah.
breath. And the celebration was wonderful because we
Yep.
got to see all of the first years that were a part of Team Monica actually perform
Yeah.
in the band there because they were needed. The
Right.
third years
Exactly.
took so many spots away at that specific point there that
Right.
they needed that.
They both play for each other. You know, with the thank you for having us, it's been an honor, and now we're off. And the we're gonna be okay without you. We will miss you.
You
we will
left
miss
us,
you to death.
You left us all this.
Right.
And,
Exactly.
And that's just written. That's written. It's already inscribed, so you're good.
Yep.
This was an episode that, thinking back on just the performance at nationals and stuff, and we also had some people in Discord kind of clarify a lot of the themes that we're going into.
Oh, yeah.
Why
It wasn't shown.
it wasn't
the
shown at
performance.
nationals. But I also think this is like that extra thing of why, if you had those performances shown just earlier, it might have felt a bit redundant
Right.
to have them be heard
Exactly.
again here.
Yep.
So that's just another little thing. But okay, we got 2 movies coming up though, Jacob.
We do. Yeah. So
and I'm really excited.
the first one is Listen the Bluebird, which is a side story. I believe it focuses on Mizore and
Nozomi?
Nozomi, yeah.
Okay.
And then the third one is the
Or
actual.
no, Mizore and Nozomi, I believe, might be there's
No, no,
Yoroizuka.
no. Mizore is Yoroizuka's
Oh, it is.
first name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Yoroizuka and Noizumi then.
Yeah. And then the third one is the continuation. But yeah.
Okay, so we'll be doing Listen to Bluebird next, guys. So
Or third one, second one, the other one. It's called
well,
3,
anyway,
but yeah.
Listen to Bluebird first, and then the continuation one after that. Okay, so y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the Listen the Bluebird movie reaction right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. Also, be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yes, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, or Semblance of Sanity, I'm Caleb,
I'm Jacob.
and we'll see you all
Next time.